Hello, everybody. I hope you all had a lovely day. This is Joseph, and I am doing a commentary for the first bonysode. I'm sorry I'm not making these as much as I used to. My priorities shifted elsewhere, mostly reviews and other stuff. But whatever. This is the one I remember struggling the most to produce. The only thing that comes close is Bonysode 6. By the way, that is coming. That is coming. You see, the reason I was struggling was because of the constant rewrites for the story. They weren't really all that good or satisfying enough to start recording for, so it took a while. Like an early version had a completely different story. It had Bony become a boxer and Max as the coach. This one didn't get too far. Another version was like a treasure hunt where Bonnie and Max would go on a treasure hunt list using hints and clues by car. It even had a name and a complete script. But that one also didn't go anywhere beyond the complete script. Another reason is animating this one. It's unprofessional of me, but I don't ever do storyboards. If I do that, ironically, the projects end up going nowhere. So I'm essentially animating with the help of my mind and imagination. And that takes a while. Usually it takes me several months, but for this one, it was a year. I'm actually bummed out that I never tried to make another zombie bonysode. I should definitely change that. But because this one took so long in the oven, it's also the one that eats the worst. I actually made a mistake on the thumbnail, funnily enough, by miscoloring Bonnie's hand green. But I didn't caught on to that until it was too late.
Whoops, my hand slipped.
Speaking of which, you may remember there was a time I was really huge Edhead, and this affected a lot of the early Bonysodes and Bonysodes, this episode included. As for if I regret that, I'm not too sure honestly. Maybe a little, but for the most part, I actually don't think I regret it all that much. To me, it's just a reminder of the time I was making this bonysode. Speaking of first bonysode, this animation did not age well. I know I shouldn't be too hard on myself since I did this when I was starting out animating, but man, this did not age well. I really wish I storyboarded bonysodes more. That way they not only look better, not only would I know what to animate, but it would look way better. I also wish I didn't cut around corners so much. It's pretty much, very much obvious.
We're finally.
Although I still remember the fun times I had animating this, even if sometimes I had to deal with electric outage. Thank God for searching for Edwarder. The specific episode that I'd say inspired this one is Zombie Nation because of both of them having the metro and the zombies, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't remember if the reason I used that as inspiration is because I liked it so much or because, yeah, I honestly have no idea. The Luigi's Mansion music I used earlier is probably the only reason this bonysode is stuck on YouTube. Nowadays I make sure to be careful of that and try to not use copyright music. If I do, it's usually a remix. But since it was my first time, I didn't know any better.
he got away.
I guess the one thing
But
I'm
I
proud
do
of that I
know how
surprisingly
to
managed to
make my
do well
next plan.
is the
Ah,
fighting, as
ow.
clunky as they are here. Although I think I did them much better in probably my favorite bonysode, the second bonysode. I don't know if I would aim for having this much gore though. Maybe, possibly. Yeah, I have no idea. I know I tend to focus more on the reviews for this channel, but I usually try to keep practicing for the animation, whether it be the reviews or the bony swords, since those are a lot easier and faster to make than the bony swords. I usually try to get them to be decent is and keep them that way instead of just having them decline slowly and slowly. And I think that might be working. It may not always help that I have to hop around animation software every time I get a new laptop, but that's besides the point. Yeah. If there's one thing that's always been kind of hard for me to do, however, it's probably the voice of Bony because I don't really have as good as vocal cords as I used to. And when I say as I used to, not even at the start of the making this Bony sword, it's more like before that when I was much younger. So yeah, it's kind of been tough not being able to go all high squeak and stuff. But I make do, and I guess that's the most important thing. Well, thank you for listening to the commentary, and I hope to see you guys next time with probably not a commentary. See ya.